morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. This here is the Great Human Reconnect. I'm your host, Hayden Binney, and today we have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ethan Price. I'm a social media creator. I used to work in FIFO, and now I make money online and make stupid videos.
His face might look familiar, he's all over the For You pages. Now, Ethan, a lot of people see the end result online, not the internal battles it took to get to where you are today. Who were you before anyone knew your name?
Who was I before? I was pretty much just a normal kid that was doing a Sparky apprenticeship in Tassie, and then obviously went over to WA like a lot of people do to go do FIFO and chase the big bucks. Um, just like a normal bloke who like to go outside and waste a lot of time drinking and partying and doing all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Would you say you had a good childhood?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a good childhood. Mum and dad looked after me. I wasn't spoiled, but I had everything I ever needed. Food and a house.
Do you feel there was anything like growing up that was sort of like a hard point for you, a hard moment which really shaped you into who you are today?
um I think getting into the trades and like probably when I was like an apprentice and I was sort of you're first leaving the house and you're trying to be an adult. And I struggled because I used to drink all the time, waste a lot of money, and I like was in the van. I used to live in my van for a little bit, so like times like that probably shaped me a decent amount. But when I was like actually a kid, there wasn't like too much drama. It was more like when you're trying to become an adult and you're learning all that sort of stuff.
What was it like living in your van? I've got probably my best mate in the world. He lived in his van for about 12 months, and it's a very interesting part of your life, to say the least.
Yeah, I got the van because I wanted to live in it. Like I wanted to go travel, and so like it was going to be a choice. But then I ended up in it like forced living in it for a while because I lost my license drink driving. So that was shit because it was like something I didn't choose, and I was just stuck at work and living outside work, like no showers, raining all the time. Not being able to go home. That was pretty shit and miserable. But if you're just going on holiday in your van, I'm sure it'd be sick.
100%. What's a quiet fear from that time in your life that you've never shared with anybody?
A quiet fear. Um, probably Probably like recognizing, good question. Recognizing I was in a pattern, if that makes sense. Like I was constantly in trouble. I was constantly making mistakes. And you're like, is this going to be the rest of my life? Am I always going to be on the bones of my ass? Am I always going to be blowing my money? Am I always going to be, um, just the same day on repeat, if that makes sense?
Why do you find a lot of men in particular fall into that sort of lifestyle?
Hmm. I think probably distraction is a massive one. Like the world today is like pretty much all distraction. Everything that you see or get thrown at you is made to distract you and pull you in, suck you in, like social media. I think if you spend all your time distracted, you then start looking for like instant gratification and like just heaps of shit like that that doesn't push your life forward. And you end up in that, constant cycle.
100%. What was the moment you realized the normal path wasn't the path you were going to walk?
Probably, probably when I was out in FIFO and I looked around at a lot of the other boys and realized that if I didn't change, that I was going to end up like them. And if I wanted something different to what everyone else had, I would have to do something different, which is obviously not a normal path.
What part of ending up like them scared you the most?
Just probably like a lot of them are miserable. A lot of them are exactly what your parents warn you about, like, divorce, not seeing your kids, like a lot of stuff like that that just didn't seem necessary for your life or to put into your own life.
If you're being honest, why did you want change? Obviously, you saw people at your job site and stuff. You didn't want to end up with them, but most people don't make a change until they figure out their real why. Was your why you knew you were destined for more? You were envious of the people you've seen online. What was it?
Um, Question. To start with, I think your why constantly changes, but when I first started, it was probably it was definitely I didn't want to end up like these guys. Probably a bit of envy as well, but probably a bit of both, to be honest. Like it's a lot of envy, a lot of oh the grass is greener on the other side,
Yeah.
and then seeing what was coming for me was the why to start with, and then obviously your why changes and grows as you go.
What's your why currently?
Right now, it's just like freedom for me and people in my life, so family, stuff like that. Which means obviously go wherever you want, do whatever you want, whenever you want.
You
Like
beat me. You beat me to the
yeah,
punch.
it's just like just that. That's it. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the concept upward social comparison?
No.
I love to go on early morning walks. It starts at about 4 a.m. I sit in there and I open up the Chat GPT prompt where it talks back to you, and I just talk. I do it for about an hour and a half most mornings. And since starting this podcast, I was seeing the people who had been doing this for a long time. I saw the Chris Griffins, the Chris Williamsons, the Jack Neals, and stuff like that. I was watching their content and I was like, obviously, this is awesome stuff. But part of me was like, fuck you. Like, why are you doing that? And why can't I do that? I then started to see smaller podcasts, 3,000 followers and stuff. And I was very much like, I'm ashamed to say, like, I was looking at these people like, fuck you. Like, you're no better looking than me. I'm like, you can't talk better than me. I'm like, why is it that you're doing better? And from one of these early morning walks, ChatGPT pretty much said, Hayden, are you familiar with the social upward comparison? I'm like, no, you can explain it to me. And I made a few dot points because I'm not going to remember them all. One, it was you believe you're capable of more. You've got an unresolved identity gap from where you are now to where you picture yourself. You are picturing yourself where you want to be, not where you are now, and that's hurting you. You're highly status aware. You selfishly, like you know you're made for more. You can be better than the average person. You're intolerant of wasted potential. The fear of getting to the end of your life and not reaching what you wanted to do hurt you inside. And you've got a high agency but incomplete execution. I sort of sat there and I was like, hmm, maybe I do have this. But I looked at it in a way it was like it made me realize this was the first thing in a long time that like I truly have that passion about, I truly care about. Because the fact that I'm sitting there getting uncomfortable, getting pissed off that I can't be doing what these people are doing and sitting there being like, okay, I can't talk better than Chris Griffins, for example. What can I do better than him? He's posting one episode a week. Okay, let me post 3, 4 episodes a week. Let me get out there. Let me get in front of people more and try and outwork them that way. Did you sort of feel that way as well? I know that was a long-winded response and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
No.
but like I think it is an important thing to like realize the psychology of like why we actually do stuff because a lot of people just go through the motions of reacting and don't actually stop and think, why am I acting like this way and how can I change that shift into feeling this negative way to being like, okay, I'm going to use this into a positive way.
I think honestly, like the whole feeling of I'm meant for more, uh, what I'm doing right now isn't meant for me. I think everyone fucking feels that.
Yeah.
I think no one's built for a fucking 9 to 5, and if some people are, but it's very rare. They think I'm meant for more. It's still this massive. awareness of your situation and not being distracted, or awareness of your current situation, like where you are right now, not awareness of where you could be, not thinking about the past. It's like where I am right now. Maybe this is shit. Maybe this isn't what I want. Maybe I want to grow a bit. That's what actually gets you to take action, because everyone dreams for more, everyone wants more, but no one does it because they're distracted.
Why do you think people sit there, dream of wanting more, but don't actually make the change to make it happen? 'Cause I know so many people, they're like, I want to start my own business. I want to do this, do that. 6 months down the line, you ask them, like, what are their dreams? What do they want to do? It's the exact same thing, but they've not taken any step forward. Are some people just destined to lose?
Don't want to say that, but yeah, probably. Some people are. I don't think they're destined to lose. I think they've what holds people back is fear from taking action most of the time, whether it's fear of what other people are going to think of you, fear of failing, fear of whatever the fuck, right? You're scared of something. I'll let us swear on this.
Of course you can.
Cool. Um, you're scared of something. That's why you're not taking action, and that's probably why a lot of people judge. And tall poppy syndrome's a massive thing as well, because you hate the person that can do what you're too scared to do. Um, but yeah, I think that's what holds people back the most after they obviously are not distracted, because people still are not distracted and they think about it all the time, but it's fear that holds them back from actually making the start.
Like the famous quote that Alex Hormozy said, fear's a mile wide but an inch deep. Things look so scary, but if you take that step into the ocean, it's not that bad at all.
Yeah.
When you started changing from who you were to who you are now, did you ever feel embarrassed telling people the journey you were on and the places you wanted to go?
Yeah, I was, for sure. For sure. I pretty much, when I was doing it out in FIFO, so I did it out in FIFO for a month before I left. I didn't really tell anyone. I was, grinding away, and I used to go to the pub after FIFO every night. And people would be like, "Oh, I'll come to the pub after work." Like, nah, I can't. I'd be like, why? I gotta go do this thing. Never told them. Even after I had left, it was, yeah, it was just not embarrassed, but I didn't want any negativity around me to affect my decision making, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
one of those things, everyone does it. Like relating it back to me, I was like starting this, it's like people are like, oh, what are you doing today? Oh, you have a fear of telling them because you don't want people to look at you differently. It's like, why can't we own what we're doing? Like, what do you think's the deeper psychology behind it? Like, if you're to be honest, why did you feel uncomfortable being honest with people?
Probably it's judgment and fear, because I had no results. So I had no place to say that I'm gonna go do this thing and this is why I'm doing it, because I had no business trying something like that. If that makes sense. It was a completely new thing, and it was just like, yeah, you're gonna get the, oh, that's stupid, or that doesn't work, and I didn't want anyone telling me that to start with. After I obviously got a little bit of result, I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, it's definitely just the fear of judgment, I think, of showing other people what you're doing. Yeah.
Have you lost many friends or people close to you on this journey?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Especially at the start. I think content is probably the best thing you can do to find out who your real friends are.
Yeah.
Because you'll obviously get you cop flack, and like people are scared of obviously content because you get hate, people judge you, all that sort of stuff. And it does happen. It You shouldn't be scared of it, because it's gonna fucking happen, and it probably is cringe to start with. My videos were shit to start with. They had plenty of reason to give me some shit, but if they continue to keep giving you shit, even though like after they maybe realize that, oh, you're actually giving this a proper crack, this is actually who you're just starting to become, and if they're still giving you shit, those are like the people I sort of got rid of. So like, yeah, probably majority.
Yeah, sometimes you need to go through the shit to get to the gold.
Yeah, like you're gonna anything you start, you're going to be shit at. You're just deciding content's like deciding to be shit at something for a little bit in public.
Do you think your ambition to start posting content and start changing made them feel uncomfortable because it confronted them with the reality that that they have chosen a life that they don't necessarily want?
I think for some, definitely. I think there's definitely a lot of people out there that will give you hate because they're too scared to do the exact same. Like maybe they want to do something similar, but they're too scared. Um, but not always. Sometimes people just it really is just shit. Like what you're doing at the start is shit, and they're almost giving you feedback. Like some of my friends, they told me it was shit. This is gay, whatever they were saying, right? But they were right. It was gay, but
Yeah.
it's okay because I understood that I was going to be shit at this thing when I first started. So yeah, not always, but a lot of the time. Yeah.
Run us through with the online space. What are you currently doing? Run us through that.
Right now, so the whole story because I've done a couple different
Yeah.
things.
Run us
Yeah.
through everything.
So to start with, when I was out in FIFO, I tried a bunch of different things, but I first started making money with appointment setting, and then left my job from that. I did like a whole series on Instagram, and then started remote closing, replaced my income from remote closing, and then started the whole digital products and really going hard on social media. Yeah.
Out of everything that you've tried, for people listening, what is the best one to try and the one to avoid?
I think so that they all work together, especially if you want to get into anything high ticket, remote closing, setting, social media. They're all very important for you to like be successful doing anything. So I always say setting's the easiest. It may not be the most profitable, but it's the easiest like barrier to entry where all you need is a phone, maybe some help, you just need to try. Closing starts to get a bit harder. It's more of like it can be a little bit of a grind, but um, it can be worth it in the long run as well. And then digital products, you sort of need it's like joining a bunch of skills of sales, marketing, running teams, all this stuff together for it to actually be successful. So I think like digital products is probably the hardest because you need more skills. But if you got the skills, go for it.
We always hear the benefits and why working remotely, working online is a good thing. What are the what are the tough realities that people don't always hear? Like, what are the difficult aspects of it?
Difficult aspects. Probably it's the same. I think it doesn't matter if it's online or if it's not online. Like just any sort of business, the same problem is like you're in charge of your income. So it's very different for a lot of people to go suddenly like, you can slack off a little bit of work. It doesn't affect your pay cut. But if you slack off as your own boss, it's going to affect your pay. So that's like a big shift. And a lot of people struggle with that. Online, it's a lot of just sitting at a fucking desk behind a computer for, a lot of hours. There's fun parts. You can go do it wherever you want, but it's still just a lot of sitting at a fucking computer.
Like, what does your average day look like? Because people can see it on social media and be like, all this guy does is make all these videos, how he's going to pay off his parents' mortgage and stuff like that. But like, what's a reality normal day for you?
Yeah. Normally it's still like an 8 hours worth of work. Not that I have to, but I'm obviously I want to grow. I want to get a lot
Yeah.
bigger. So I'm trying to put in as much hours as I can because I think I've got a really good opportunity to change my life and my parents' lives. And I would hate to get to the end of it and go, oh, I didn't work hard enough. So like it's a lot of just working, sitting at the laptop, maybe going for like a walk or doing like one little activity at the end of the day. But that all sort of goes into content anyway, so it's still sort of work. But yeah, you can sort of mesh content and fun things into your life and still make it still work though.
Can someone do well in your line of work only say working 3 or 4 hours a day?
Yeah, yeah, they can for sure. You're obviously not going to get crazy retire your parents' results, but you can still probably replace your income depending what your income is. If it's like $1,000 a week, you could easily do that if you have the right skills, or just side cash. Yeah.
Are you surprised at all at how quickly you've gone from being in Tassie, working FIFO in Perth, to now working online, making the money you're making?
It doesn't feel like right now. It doesn't feel surprising, but obviously, if if I knew that I was going to do that when I was out in FIFO, I'd be like that's fucked. I didn't think would have never thought I'd be able to achieve this much in a year. But as the year goes on, it's just levels. Like you get to one thing and then that becomes a norm, and then you get to the next thing, and like the next goal for me doesn't feel crazy to achieve. But it's just like if you told me back at the start that I'd be here, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Why do you think so many people underestimate what they can actually achieve in 12 months?
uh I think because most people don't achieve much in 12 months. Yeah, they don't. Not many people generally, not many people actually give shit a proper go. Like, I think once you get to a certain age, a lot of people get into their job and then they never really give anything a really hard
Oh,
crack.
we live in a day and age where people think they're giving it a hard
Yeah,
crack, but they're not.
like, like actually like look at yourself and go, I gave that my all. I don't think many people would. I don't know who said it, but like most people could probably run a marathon right now with no training if they gave it a really hard crack and they gave it their all. No one gives their all really
Well, it's the
anymore.
analogy. If someone put a gun to your head or someone put a gun to your child's head, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
It just, unfortunately, it takes extreme shit to go wrong before people actually want to make that
mm.
change. Run me through what is your how do you break down goals and stuff? Are you very detailed by okay, in this month I have to achieve this, 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 or do you look at things more in like a calendar year? Like by the end of the year I've got to do this, or do you really, really break it down?
I definitely break it down into a day sense. I don't think I like obsess over it. I normally have like, right, this is the goal I want to get to. I want to try get there by this date. And the date's normally a lot shorter than what I think is actually possible in my mind. So like with the parents' house mortgage, saving $120,000 in 3 months, it's pretty crazy when you're looking after everything else as well at the same time. So I don't I have that goal and I have the time frame, and then I just give myself I figure out just what I need to do every day to get there eventually. Whether it's on the deadline or not, I just think I need like non-negotiables for the
Yeah.
day. Like I just need to do these things every day. Doesn't matter what the performance is, like I can analyze it, I can get better at it, but eventually I'm going to get to that goal if I just do these things every day.
Living your life like this, do you have to sacrifice a lot?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There are uh a lot of a lot of my old life, like my old life's just gone.
Yeah.
Like obviously I got a new life with lots of new friends that fit into working online, and it works. It doesn't feel like I'm working all the time because I'm surrounded by people, and like now our fun is how can we get better? Like that's the fun thing. Um when before fun was obviously going partying and going camping maybe for like 2 weeks or going to a festival and getting blitz. So uh it's a lot of sacrifice of the old life or the old me, if that makes sense. But it doesn't feel like sacrifice now.
It just feels like a big sacrifice in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What is the trick? What is the secret to blowing up on social media? I feel like you're the perfect person to ask.
I think there's a lot of people out on the internet, they say this is the algorithm hacks or everything. All social media cares about is watch time and engagement. So whether that's shares or comments. So if you just make your videos around that, you're going to go well eventually. Obviously, consistency is very important, but you can't just put it down to consistency because be consistently shit. So it's always hook, and then how can I get someone to comment or watch all the way through? That's like the secret. Like that's all I think about with social media. That's what makes a video go well on the algorithm.
How much time a day do you spend on actually creating these short form and like the concepts and ideas behind it, or is that entirely with your editing team now?
I So I still do a fair bit of scripting myself or like ideas. Not too long though, because maybe like an hour a day max, and then probably maybe 1 to 2 days, 2 hours filming. Um, if you put it up into, I normally block it, so like I film all Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday as well, and I'm done. For the week, something like that, but not too much, nothing crazy.
Will the same video that goes viral on Instagram go viral on TikTok, go viral on YouTube Shorts, or is every platform after something different?
I think they're all after the same metrics. Like they're still all after watch time, engagement, but there's just different audiences, so they don't go well. Like I could post a video, it goes 1 million views on Instagram, and then it gets five 5,000 on TikTok. So it still changes. Sometimes it still goes well across everything. Like if it's a really good banger video that everyone will love, but there's just different audiences on different platforms. Like YouTube Shorts is like kids, TikTok's like brain rot, Instagram's probably the best for uh in terms of like short form. Um, then long form's the best in terms of viewer. Yeah.
Would you agree with the statement that more content is better than better quality content?
Yes, but because not necessarily more content's better than quality content. I think it's better to do more content because you're going to get better quicker, if that makes sense. You're going to have a bigger feedback loop. You're going to be able to look at what you're actually doing, if it's working, if it's not working. If I think of someone that's doing one reel a day, and then I think of someone that's doing 3 reels a day, and then they got clippers, their like test ratio is like, or what they've tested is so much higher, even in a week, than someone that's just doing one. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. I'm a big I really enjoy Alex Mosey's content, really like his philosophies on stuff. I was actually lucky enough just last week actually go down to Melbourne and spend some time with Reese Livingston. Are you familiar with him at all?
No, might know his face.
Might know his face.
Terrible at
You
names.
definitely would have seen him over social media, but he pretty much grew a massive, big fitness coaching business and stuff. And he's actually spent a fair bit of time with Alex and Mosey learning face to face in person, and like
Oh,
one on
I
one
think I
quality.
no, I think I did say this. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I went out and spoke to him, and his outlook on sort of content and stuff, and what Alex sort of told him, because he's like, Alex, they were having a bit of a joke back and forth, and Alex said to him, "I should post more content." He's like, "Oh, like what, 500 reels in a day?" And Alex was like, "Yeah, sure, do it." And he's sort of like, "Okay." So then he went back. He's like, "Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna post 1,000 reels in a day." He said, "We got into office at 8 a.m. We didn't leave until 6 a.m. the following morning. I think they only ended up getting about 600 and something reels made in that period of time. But it's like putting out content is the best thing you can do. The more you do, as you said, the better you're going to get at it, the more people are going to see you. But it gets to a point where you can't just put out shit content, because shit content is just shit content.
Mm,
It's got to be good enough that people are going to see you, trust you, willing to then, because in a way, you've got to earn someone's follow. You've got to earn the like. You've got to earn the comment.
mm. Yeah, and like you said, like if you just do bulk volume, but it's all shit, it's got to be bulk volume. Doesn't matter if it's shit, but as long as you're looking to improve it, if that makes sense. Like it can be shit to start with, like 500 reels, it's a lot, but you just got to be looking, how can I make the next 500 better, and the next 500 better, and then eventually you've got quality.
What are your thoughts on people that sort of, with the content, they jump on just sort of the current trends and stuff like that versus people that just go out there and just shoot their authentic content?
I think authenticity is probably, it's going to be, it's the best way to build obviously a cult following, and it lasts a lot longer. People that just do trends and they're constantly doing trends and they're not trying to show their personality or be themselves. Like people are really good at sniffing out bullshit and just sniffing out, oh, this guy's just trying to get likes, or this guy's just they get over it and they'll move on, and you can't stay relevant that way. If you think of someone like, what's an example? Someone like Adam Sullivan. He's got a
Yeah.
like cult following, like bulk cult following, like really good. He's just himself. He just like rips raw shit all the time, and it goes really well because people are like, ah, this guy's a fucking real person. Versus someone that's just like ripping trends all the time. You know, you're like, ah, it's just a robot.
Obviously, you see all the likes, you see all the positive comments, you see all the DMs of people being like, "I want to be like you. Can you help me get to the level?" and stuff like that. How does it affect your ego? Obviously, ego's not always ego can be a bad thing, can also be a good thing, but talking more on the negative side of things. Has there been moments where you've like caught yourself, I'm acting very poorly to all this positivity?
Yeah. I don't think so. Not really. I always try. I'm really lucky. The people I'm surrounded with right now, I'm so fucking small compared to them, like the people I'm around. So where I'm at doesn't really matter how many nice messages I get. Uh, I'm still so small and like nowhere near where I could be. So I don't think egos it like even being a thing or a problem so far. I don't know if that's having an ego saying that, but yeah, I'm lucky to be in and around a lot of people that are just like the top 0.001%. So it's just like I'm nothing really yet. Yeah.
100%. And how do you deal with the trolls?
Just ignore them, pretty
Ignore them?
much. Yeah, just ignore them. There's a lot out there, but yeah, just ignore.
Do you ever play into it and help with the engagement and stuff on videos?
Sometimes I used to all the time, but now I just can't be fucked. Like, yeah, sometimes I will. Depends what they're trolling about. Like, sometimes they troll about funny shit, I'll play into that. But if it's just like straight up hate, I just leave it there. Can't be bothered giving
Have,
them.
have you heard the Rick and Morty quote relating to this?
No.
It's a good one. It's you, I'm gonna absolutely butcher it now. I know it any other day of the week. It was here. It is. Your boos mean nothing because I've seen what you people cheer for.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that one. It's true. It's very true.
Now, tell us, moving forward, obviously living in Dubai, moving to Dubai, living in Dubai, getting all that sorted. Did you feel you were forced out of Australia?
I don't. That's a good question. I feel like I don't feel like I was forced out of Australia, but I was if I wanted to get where I was trying to go, like obviously to like a really successful level, I had to leave. So yes, sort of like forced, but like not like how to explain it. If I wanted to keep going and if I wanted to keep growing, I would have to leave. So yeah, I guess forced. Yeah, really.
Why did you pick Dubai?
I Dubai was really easy for me because I already knew people over there. I'd been there, I'd liked it, and this is obviously all the other, I guess, tax havens or places that have low income tax, but it was just an easy way, an easy solution for me. It took like 2 weeks to set up, something ridiculous. It was really quick. So yeah,
How expensive is the process?
I can vary depending what agent or whatever you go through. Like, I think probably 10K to 30K getting set up. I think. Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much you want to go into this. I haven't heard you talk about this before, but like, does some part of your wanting to leave and stuff, can any of it relate to sort of like current sort of political positions, the whole new digital ID and stuff like that? 'Cause I've seen a lot of people posting on social media. They're leaving Australia, one, because they're getting fucked with the tax, and two, they're not liking liking the way that the country's moving, digital IDs and stuff like that. I don't know if you want to talk about it or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah, I can talk about it. I'm definitely not qualified to talk about it, but like, I obviously taxes obviously the number one. I do love Australia. I think it's great, but I do think there's a lot of moves happening right now with the government that are not making the country better at all. And growing up, I feel like it's just slowly getting worse and worse. I don't know if it's propaganda or what, but I don't feel like they're making heaps of good moves at the moment. They probably still make good moves, but I think bad moves are outweighing it a lot. Digital ID, like why, is probably like the biggest thing. Like I don't know why you need it, but um, yeah, it feels like a lot of like we need control. And I don't think I want to be controlled by someone I don't think is making the country better. That makes sense.
What's the biggest piece of propaganda that people are falling for?
Biggest piece of propaganda. I think all sides fall for propaganda. I think there's on social media is such a big powerhouse for propaganda. Like it doesn't matter what side you're on. There's false information everywhere on all narratives. So everyone's falling for it, I think. Yeah. I think everyone's just getting propaganda shoved down their throat. Doesn't matter where you're at. Yeah.
I don't believe it would hinder you because I don't imagine your target audience and stuff are going to fall into this. But like, have you noticed any, or do you think you'll notice any effect with the whole social media ban and stuff coming in for the kids under 16? And like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think so. It doesn't affect me really. I think it's already came in. It lost like 500 followers or something
Yeah.
like that. That didn't
So I'd
affect.
imagine most of yours are probably over 16.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the boys are already tradies or they're tradie in a different country, I guess. But I've seen a lot of things. My problem with it is I know that it's not going to stop kids from getting on social media, and they know that it's not going to stop kids from getting on social media. So does it mean it's more about everyone identifying themselves instead of just stopping kids getting on there? But that's like just propaganda. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm not qualified, but that's what makes sense to me because like when I think it used to have to be 13 to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
Bro, when I was 10, everyone in my
Everyone have
school,
Facebook.
everyone had Facebook. It's going to be the same with social media. So if I know that and they know that, why are we doing it? You know. So whether it's they say to obviously make it more acceptable that people aren't on social media before then, but also just let parents be parents.
100%.
Yeah.
Obviously, unfortunately, social media runs sort of a lot of our lives and sort of how we do things. I'm going to give the same question I asked you a very much a social media twist on it. What propaganda are you falling for?
Am I falling for? Ooh, and am I falling for? I can say what, yeah, I can say propaganda that I'm falling for right now is something that I can say this because I'm falling for it because I'm not educated on it at all. I know nothing about it, but mass immigration, like what I'm seeing everywhere, everyone's complaining about it. It's a problem for everyone in the UK, in the US, here, and I don't know anything about it, but I just assume it's a really bad thing because I'm seeing all this stuff, but I've never gone and done the research for myself. So I guess that's a thing that I'm falling for. I don't know if it's propaganda, if it's actually real. So, yeah, I know it is real because they do let a lot of
Yeah.
people in. But
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because that's probably the one topic I do get quite sort of passionate about and
yeah,
stuff like that because I think I've got to be careful with sort of how I say it and stuff. But like, part of me is like, well, no, fuck that. The whole point of this podcast is to be authentic and stuff like
yeah,
that. Say what I want to say. You know what? Fuck it, we're gonna say
and
it.
get into it.
It's like we're letting so many people come in and like America doesn't feel like America anymore. Australia doesn't feel like Australia. UK doesn't feel like. the UK anymore. I don't want people to get it twisted. Like I'm not racist. Got nothing against anybody and stuff like that. But it's like when you go somewhere, you want it to feel like when you go to Dubai, you want it to feel like the Dubai. You don't want to go there and think you're sort of still in Australia and stuff like that. Even though there's plenty of Aussies over there and stuff, but like
Yeah.
the culture and stuff. You don't go to Italy to go experience Egypt or whatever it might be, for example. You go there to experience what it is. I feel like a lot of people coming in, the problem I have is when they start, like down in Victoria and stuff, they started changing names of lakes and stuff to Indian sounding names because the large population is all Indian. So now they're changing the names. I think another scary statistic I saw, I'm going to butcher it. People can fact check me. It's going to be wrong. It's like in the UK, the number one name is Muhammad. Like, I know it's the number one name in the world and stuff, but in a country like the UK,
Yeah, yeah.
Muhammad shouldn't be the number one name.
Yeah.
And I think they're saying in the next 5 years, again, could be completely wrong. I believe 60 or 70% of schools will be majority non-white English people. I think you can. Look, fuck, we're gonna keep diving into it. We're gonna say the other big thing I think social media and stuff's pushing is a lot of this movement against men, this sort of
Oh,
movement
yeah,
which is
true.
very much positive, pro women and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, that's awesome and stuff. I think there's a boundary when we're the first time ever that the birth rates I think the age group is normally like your lower 20s where it's the highest. That's now first time ever that isn't. Less people are having kids and stuff because more people are going out there. More women are getting onto OnlyFans. More people are being like, okay, I don't need a husband. I can do stuff on my own. Birth rates are going down. People are coming into the country and stuff like from India, from Africa, from the Middle East, and they still have those traditional qualities. The husband's working, the wife is at home raising family, they're having kids and stuff. So we are being they are outproducing us in our own country. And I fear the day if I want to experience India, I want to go to India and experience that. I'm in Australia. I want to experience Australian culture. I want your budgie smugglers. I want Vegemite toast. I want people in their utes and stuff like that because that is what makes our country so great.
Yeah. 100%. I With immigration, I think it's still like Australia was a pretty successful country for immigration. Like we've done it for a long time. I think it's still good if you're coming here and you have a good job and you're going to like you're going to be a part of Australia and embrace Australia and you're Australian,
Mm,
you've migrate I'm now an immigrant, I'm in Dubai.
yeah,
But I go to Dubai and I feel lucky to be there and I behave and I contribute there. If you're coming to another country because your country was not for you, you gotta you're now part of that country. Like
mm.
I'll never talk bad about Dubai. And then people come and they're having a protest burning the Australian flag.
So
It's
imagine if you did that. Imagine
yeah,
you went to
if
Dubai.
I did that in Dubai, I would be probably my feet tied up and dragged down the road getting rocks thrown at me, So, um, I think that's where like the line is. Like it's still immigration's still fine if you're coming here and you're coming Australian and you can, you're not trying to make it something else.
100%. Like when I say this, I'm not anti people coming into the country and
Yeah,
stuff. I just don't want it. I think it needs to be sort of regulated a little bit more with like
yeah,
who's coming in and just the amount of people and
mm,
stuff. Obviously, you got to let people in because we're a growing country. We need more work. We need more labor force and stuff like that. Like, we're going to need it. I think we're not experiencing it as bad. I feel like in England and America, they're really sort of having a more difficult time at it. I know like we're not there, it doesn't impact us directly, but unfortunately a lot of what we have and stuff, it comes from American culture, English culture and stuff like that. And yeah, I just don't want Australia to get to the point where we lose that Australian culture,
yeah,
the Australian feeling.
yeah.
I feel like we went on quite a bit of a tangent there and stuff like that. I mean, besides that, like, did you ever consider any other places besides Dubai?
uh,
I know you've traveled around a little bit.
yeah. There's we thought about Cyprus.
Yep.
Cyprus was
That's a
one.
big one at the minute that's sort of coming up. Everyone's talking about
Yeah,
Cyprus.
we were thinking about that. Uh, we also thought my dream used to be when I first was in FIFO. I'm gonna go to Bali. I'm gonna surf every day, and I'm happy with 2K a month. Until obviously I got in and thought, what a waste of fucking an opportunity if I just do that. So I thought about obviously Bali as well because I think they've got pretty low tax, but it just ended up being Dubai because that was easy.
I've got this little game I like to play. It's called Truth or Bullshit. And then I'm gonna say the phrase, you give me truth, bullshit, and then give me like a little reasoning. Money fixes self-worth.
Bullshit, I reckon. Or nah, that's still bullshit. Yeah,
Bullshit. Why
yeah.
is that?
Because I think if you just have money by itself without everything else around it, with maybe your self worth because you're looking after yourself and you're disciplined and you do the things you say, you're still gonna feel pretty shit about yourself. Just have the money by itself.
Anyone can make money online.
True.
Hard work beats luck.
True.
Most people want to escape their life.
True.
Why?
Distraction. The same things we were talking about before. Like they're distracted and they're too scared to change anything, or they're not willing to go through small bit of pain they have to go through to then have a nicer life. And they can't. They're always searching for instant gratification, I guess.
Social media rewards authenticity.
True.
What was the last deepest thought that you've had that you haven't shared with anybody?
Oh, last. Probably where I want to be in 10 years or 50 years. Like that deep thought of like, where am I taking everything? What am I trying to get to? That's probably something I think about not all the time, but a lot of the time, is just sort of rechecking what's important to me, because obviously, a lot of my life is trying to get more money, but is money actually important, or is it all these other things that I'm getting the money for? You know, the why I want the money. So that's probably a constant one I have with myself, I reckon.
And what like conclusion did you come to? Where was that?
Always, it's always like you're gonna die with nothing, so it's not the end of the world. It's, for me, more about family and people in my lives, and then also constantly trying to get better. That's it. Like that's all I really care about, is just like getting better, because like what are you even going to do if you're not trying to improve? It's an endless cycle that's always going to be get better, get better, get better, that you're never going to get to the end to. But I think it's still important to try, look back on and go, fuck, I'm the best version I could have been of myself. So yeah.
What else in your life that you haven't sacrificed yet are you willing to sacrifice to get there? Like, is there something that you're going to have to sacrifice to get there that you just haven't done yet? Like,
Oh.
because like you know where you want to be. Like only you know deep down. Like, obviously, as much as you can tell people and stuff, and you share with the people in your life, they never fully understand it. Partly because like you can never really explain to them how you really feel. Like it's hard to put into words sometimes. Like what are you willing to sacrifice? Like, is what in your life are you willing to sacrifice friendships? Are you willing to, I don't, it could be anything. I don't know how extreme, how minor, how major it is. Like, are
Yeah,
you willing to die to
yeah,
succeed?
yeah. Okay. Um, I'm pretty yeah. Like anything, yeah, I'll tell you what I'm not willing to sacrifice: morals
Yep.
and like integrity. Never gonna sacrifice that. Family. That's it. Like I'll sacrifice. Not that I want to sacrifice my friends, but even if my best mate right now got in the way of me getting to the next level, or he switched up on me, he's gone.
Mm.
I don't care about any sort of the history or anything like that. Like the goal is like those are the things I morals, and integrity, and then the family. Like that's it. Everything else can get sacrificed.
I think it's a very strong thought. Like, I think a lot of people underestimate what they actually have to sacrifice and give up to get to the person that they want
Hmm.
to be. Because it's like you're going you're going to a place you've never been before, so you're going to have to give up a lot of things that you're used to because that's not going to align with where you want to be. I feel like it's a scary place. That's probably why a lot of people stay in that sort of comfort limbo because that was like that's been my deep thought. I like to call it my shower thoughts. I'll sit in the shower and I'll just sort of just think and like that and driving is where I'll just have the craziest thoughts. And like my biggest thing was like relating to that was like people are stuck in this place of comfort. It's like why are people stuck in comfort? Why was I stuck in comfort for so long? And it just happened to be the algorithm was listening to my thoughts and what I was thinking, and I got played like the perfect little reel and stuff, and it was I'm pretty sure it was Chris Williamson said it. It was most people would be better off if their situation was worse than what it currently was. It's like a few examples. It's like if you're like you might be in a bad place with your marriage or girlfriend relationship. If it was slightly worse, it might actually then be enough for you to say end it, move on, get what you need to do. It's like work, money, and stuff like that. It's like okay, you're making just enough to get by. Okay, take away some of that money, you're making less money. You're put into a position where you then have to get out of that comfort zone. I feel like a lot of people are stuck in that mediocrity.
There is a sales, um, I guess, quote: "People run faster away from a burning building than towards an ice cream truck." So if you,
I haven't heard that.
lots of people, they want the ice cream. They love to go. I can't wait to go get some ice cream. They're not going to run as fast towards that thing as fast out of a house that's on fire. So if your life right now is on fire, it's shit. You're going to get the fuck out of there. You're going to do anything to fix it. So the worse your situation is, the more likely you are to improve it or let it consume you and just fucking die, I guess.
I want to share. I was as everyone is. I was just scrolling through social media and stuff, and I heard something from someone I probably wasn't expecting to get this sort of level of like depth and information from. You know, Togi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the guy's a genius. I think he's very misunderstood and stuff.
He is a fucking genius. Anyone that thinks Togi is like just this dumb gambler, that he's so
He is
smart.
not.
He is so smart.
It sounds crazy, but like, obviously, I think everyone has people that they look at online and stuff as sort of like that starts to make them think in a different way. Obviously, a lot of people say, look, you can look up to like your Alex Moses, your Andrew Tates, people look up to like whoever it might be and stuff in your life. And I feel like he's really like amplified. It probably relates to you. Like you can get done, your life can completely change in 365 days. Like it's just putting yourself out there. And he said this really interesting thing. I want to read it to you. If you get a 1 foot wide plank placed along the ground, you're going to walk across it 1,000 out of 1,000 times. Now, if you put that same plank 1,000 feet up in the air, 99% of people will fall because they are so focused on looking down, even though they walked across this plank 1,000 out of 1,000 times before. Or the other part of the people will just choose not to cross at all because they are too scared. I thought it was quite interesting. It's like when things are so simple at this level, it's like people can keep on doing it. But the second you start actually progressing through business, through life, once your situations start rising, the plank and what you have to do stays the same. It's just the fear and the noise as to whether or not. It's like, I've done this 1,000 times. Why just because the situation's changed where the plank is that I'm now having a completely different response to it?
100%. Looking at all the things that could go wrong, not how simple it actually is.
What do you often think about? I know we talked just before about your deepest thoughts, but like what do you think about often? Like, what are your biggest thoughts? Are you in a phase where you're thinking about psychology? In a phase where you're thinking about, I don't know, Fortnite? Like, what is it?
Pretty much all I think about is how, like, whatever goal I've set, how do I get closer to that? That's literally it. All day, every day. Yeah. Even when I'm like going for walks, there's some times like showers and like times where people have deep thoughts. That's where I just switch off, because all the other time I'm just like, how do I get to the next thing? How do I get to the next thing? How I can't really switch off.
Maybe you should start a new little series where it's like camera recording you in the shower thoughts with Ethan.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any. That's like my place where I'm just like brain dead, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, because the rest of the time you're just like, go, go, go. Yeah.
What's your most unpopular opinion?
That if you're fat, less people will care about what you say or have to say. People won't respect you as much.
I like that. I've definitely heard that before. I really like it. Explain a little bit more why.
It's not anything to do with you
Be careful. You're gonna have the comments coming after you.
Yeah, come at me. Come at me. It's not nothing to do with like obviously you as a person. It's just I think everyone recognizes that someone that can't even look after themselves or is choosing not to look after themselves, like I'm talking like clearly massively overweight, like you've got a problem. I don't want to end up like you, so I'm not going to listen to you. Like it's simple. You don't listen to people you don't want to end up like, and it's just a physical sort of example.
What advice on the internet do you think's complete bullshit that most people fall into?
That money will solve all your problems. It doesn't. Doesn't solve all your problems. I think a lot of people, they may not say it, or they do say money makes you happier. It can short term, but it doesn't solve all your problems. All those people you see online that maybe have this life that you want have the exact same level of problems that you have as someone that's dead broke and has like maybe no food. They've got the same level of stress. Getting money doesn't make your life less stressful. It just, well, actually it kind of does, but it's we're humans. You tend to add more stress into your life anyway. Everyone's got a hard life, you know?
What are your thoughts on the saying, I'd rather be crying in a Lamborghini than crying in a Mazda, for example?
The crying in a Lamborghini for sure. Yeah. Although, yeah, crying in a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to always agree with that. I recently heard a different perspective of it. I think that's the beauty of it. Once you start actually, when you listen to things, I think it's important to sort of look past sort of like what you first think. It was a podcast where I think it was Diary of a CEO with Bugsy Malone, and they were talking about it, and they said that was Chris Williamson. Sorry, most people get it wrong. It's if you're crying in the Mazda, at least you still have the hope of getting to the Lamborghini.
That is true.
Obviously, they said it a lot better than how I just said it, but I was like, I think that's so true. I think the biggest thing that why we are, I'm a big believer in like being stagnant is the worst thing that you can do. And part of the unknown and part of the hope that you can actually get somewhere is the reason that we are not stagnant, the reason that we keep moving forward. And without the hope that we can change our circumstance, without the hope that we can become a better person, get to where we want to go, travel to where we want to travel, you lose why you're going to do it at all.
I think that's a good perspective, obviously the hope, but you can still, the thing is with these material stuff and people going for goals, there's always something higher.
100%.
Lamborghini is not the top thing. So you can be like, obviously, I'm in the Corolla crying, but I still have the hope of getting to whatever. You can be in a Lamborghini crying and hoping to get to the private jet. So it's still, you can still have the same hope. You're just starting at a higher level.
To you, materialistic wise, what's your highest of highs that you want to achieve?
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not materialistic at all. I don't care about anything. Like my whole thing is freedom, and the more things you get, the less freedom you have. The more cars and houses and all that sort of whatever you get, the less freedom you have. So I'm all about liquid. That's literally it. That's all.
100%.
That's all I care about. And then obviously other people around, other people around me having that same freedom. Yeah.
100%. I mean, you asked me that question 2 years ago, I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
McLaren 720S in orange, black interior, da 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 da. But like now it's my why has changed. Now it's like I would be so like my end goal is that I can have enough money that I can just if I can fit my entire life into a backpack or like a have the podcasting gear, suitcase and stuff, and be able to be where I want with who I want, where I want, when I want, that there is the that's the end goal. That is my that's my shiny object. I could not care. Obviously, I'm sure along the way you're going to have the moments like as you succeed, you're going to probably fall into some of these materialistic things. Like you're going to buy stuff, you're going to buy that nice watch and stuff like that because you're going to have the opportunity to. But I think if I can get to a point where I can have everything in a backpack and I can just, again, I'll use the quote slightly different, be a little bit of a feather in the wind. Because I mean, like the famous Forrest Gump thing, it's like that feather in the wind with him sitting there signified that Forrest was just a feather in the wind, letting life push him around wherever it wanted to without him taking control. And I'm like, if I look at that deeply, it's like, well, maybe I want to be a feather in the wind. Maybe I want to be able to just flow through life, let it take me where it needs to take me. And I think I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
What's an uncomfortable truth people aren't ready to hear?
That everything in their life that's going good or bad right now is their fault and they can't blame anyone else. Obviously, there's things in your life you can't control, but it's what you do after that that you obviously controls what happens in your life. Pretty much everything's your fault. And you can't blame your dad. You can't blame this thing that happened to you. You can't blame anything except yourself. Most people can't cope with that. And that's why they don't progress forward, I guess.
No, I love that extreme accountability. Why do you think so many people like to play the victim card? Why do they like to blame everything else, everyone else, other than themselves?
Because it's a cop out for you doing fuck all or you taking the wrong path or you making, instead of admitting that, you know, the uncomfortable truth that this is your fault, you take the cop out of blaming someone else.
Do you ever find yourself having moments where you are still going back to those sort of habits, those sort of ways?
Of blaming?
Blaming, or do you think you've got to a point now where you've come to terms of you're not making those mistakes? You're like, everything is my fault. Everything good that's happening to me is because I fucking earned it, and everything bad that's happening to me is because I've fucked up somewhere along the way.
I think I've never played the victim card. I'm almost like the opposite. Like even if something's going wrong in other people's lives, sometimes I think it's my like, oh fuck, maybe I could have changed something to stop that from happening. So I'm almost too far the other way. But yeah, no, I don't think. I think I had it even before I left. Like I was in FIFO. It was shit. I understood that I chose to go out to FIFO. It wasn't like, oh, poor me, I've got a bad job. My teachers didn't teach me well enough, so I couldn't go to uni. It was just like I chose to come out here, Yeah. So, no, I don't think so.
What do you think is the number one personality trait that will determine whether or not someone will be successful? What do you think your number one trait is?
Ego. Ego is probably the biggest killer of success. Sometimes it can play in and be a good thing. Obviously, you got to have a bit of ego. You got to, have a little bit of, I'm the man,
Swagger, yeah.
but you can't have it too high. It's got to be this nice little medium. Like, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm happy to tell people I'm capable of that stuff, but I'm also very happy for someone else to tell me that they might be doing worse. Tell me, like, maybe you should do it this way or something like that, and I'll listen. I'll take it into account. I'll have like a serious think about it, because everyone has different perspectives, and like, ego's the biggest. It stops people from getting further, because it's just like you just become a lone wolf, I guess, in your own thoughts and try to tackle everything by yourself.
Why did you make it? Like, what was unique about you that you were able to actually do it? Because I mean, people sit there and they're like, I've tried doing it and stuff. Like, was it just a level of like resilience? Was it just a level of like, I'm gonna just not giving up? Like, what was it? Like, what makes you so fucking special that you were able to pull it off? And like, the people, like, you have to sit there and be like, brother, you just need to fucking stick with it. Like, how did you pull it off?
I think I'm just retarded. I honestly do. I think I'm retarded. I think I'm so dumb enough or retarded enough to not care what other people think. I'm dumb enough for things to go wrong and just try again and hope again. I'm dumb enough for so many mistakes for it not to discourage me. I'm dumb enough to make the sacrifices. I'm retarded enough to just not care and just have tunnel vision on what I want, and that's it, and just get what I need to get done, and don't let anything discourage me. Because smart people, I think they overthink. I don't. I barely fucking think. It's just like, right, we're going to try this, let's try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll try it again,
I'm so happy you said that, because the first ever podcast episode I did with my best friend, and a big part of that podcast was us talking about like us being as autistic as we are and stuff in our own ways is the reason we are to like where we are. Like, I'm autistic enough to think that I can have this podcast and in 6 months' time I can be a trending, heading towards like a number one podcast. I'm autistic enough to think that like I can get to the number one level. Like,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's probably the part of it. Like, as you said, retarded, autistic, however you want to label it. It's like maybe more people just need to be a little bit autistic.
I think so. I honestly think everyone just needs to be a little bit more retarded and think a little bit less, and you'll get to where you want to
Because a
be.
logical person doesn't just get up, quit their job and stuff like that. Like, when I quit my job selling cars and stuff, I just sat there one day. I'm just like, I walked in and Dad, like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I haven't thought that far ahead, but I know I just can't be here. It's like, you've got to be stupidly optimistic that it's going to work out, and you have that level of autism that it's like, it's going to be fine. I'm going to be able to do it. Like, he can go do it. Why can't I do it?
Exactly.
Like, what's the difference? We both look the same. We both bleed blood. Like, what's the difference? It's just right now he's just got more time in the game. I currently have very little time in the game. Okay, let me now bridge that gap of, let me try and get to his time in the game as quick as I can by putting out more volume and stuff like that. And like, everything's like, if you put more work into something, you're going to bridge that gap.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people will watch me and they'll go, oh, maybe you're special, maybe like, I view people like, oh, he's just smarter than me or whatever. I used to. And then you just realize that everyone's retarded and no one knows what the fuck they're talking about. And people have just been doing it longer than you.
Like we said it.
That is the only thing.
Togi is the most autistic motherfucker I've ever seen.
I know.
But it just, like, he's just done it so well that like people look at it like, oh my God, like he is, like, when my friend said to me, it's like, oh, this guy here, he's just so lucky. I'm like, no, he's not lucky. Like, yes, it looks like he's lucky, but he's put in so much work and so much just like unbelievable thing. Like, the guy sold his car, put it on black. Like, you're not willing to do that. He's willing to go like dead broke every single day. He's willing to borrow hundreds of thousands of dollars he doesn't have to make it work. And it's like, maybe more people just need to go, terrible financial advice. Like, take out that fucking loan. Like, tell your boss, no, I'm fucking done. And you just need to do it. And the more you do it, I think you're going to be rewarded for, like, what you put in, you're going to get out. The more you put in, the more you're going to get out. People just want to put in like, oh, I'm going to put in a little bit here. Oh yeah, I'm going to like go to a cafe off my computer and work. They just sit there half an hour just scrolling on YouTube and looking at emails, have a coffee and be like, oh, that's been a productive day working on my computer. Like, no, you've done nothing. Fundamentally, you're fucking lazy. And it's like, just actually put yourself out there, take a risk. Because, like, I mean, like us, we're both so young. Like, you're 24, you say?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 23, and it was like, what's the worst that happens? We lose it all now. You can go back, you can live with mum and dad. Like, you're not, we're living in like a world where like, you're not going to, like, I don't know exactly your situation, but I don't imagine you'd be on the street and stuff. I'm sure you could go back with your parents, stuff like that. You get a job back in FIFO, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could end up at someone's house. I could end up back at my old job around the corner and stuff like that. I'm like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
The likelihood that people think, oh, I don't want to end up homeless. The likelihood that people are homeless is so slim. You have to be someone that everyone fucking hates. Like, imagine like all your mates just let you go on the street, or like your parents. Like, you got to be an absolute dropkick cunt. Like, you're not going to go homeless ever.
Yeah.
You can just go back to your old life that you're trying to escape from.
Yeah. And you know what? If you do go homeless, maybe that's what you needed.
Yeah, maybe that's what you
maybe
needed.
that's exactly what you needed. I mean, probably a little bit of a different topic, different side of the things. I mean, who are you if this all doesn't work out?
If all this doesn't work out,
Yeah.
same person. I'm just gonna. If this doesn't work out, just try a new thing. Like, it's the same fucking thing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Except next time, it's like, I doubt this isn't gonna work out. But if it didn't, I'm not starting from scratch anymore. I'm starting from this level because I've got all this experience now. So I'm the same person, just doing the same thing.
It's probably a good example anyone listening can use and stuff. But like, you right now, all your social media is gone. People don't know who you are. All of like the connections you've made, what you do for work, it's all gone. You're dropped butt naked in the middle of Sydney. What do you do? How do you get back to where you are?
First, well, if I'm butt naked, get some clothes. But yeah, just get a job, get some cash, enough to maybe.
Like, what sort of job are you getting? Are you getting a sales role?
Fucking anything. I wouldn't even care.
Wouldn't even care.
Do I still have the skills I have now, or
You have the same skills.
same
Yes.
skills?
You've only got yourself and the skills.
Yeah, okay. Or just something to survive. That is literally it. Don't
Yep.
care. And then I find something that I think is going to work, whether that's, and start a personal brand.
Yep.
And I just do that until it works. It's like, it's a simple fucking recipe. Just make enough to survive and spend all the rest of your time trying to get out of that time where you're trying to survive.
Are personal brands a dying industry? Because like, when I was in Melbourne, I asked Reese, I'm like, why? I'm like, I have this sort of like, these darker thoughts that come over me. It's like, everything's so good, but like later I'm sitting there, I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm like, there's so many other people like doing like podcasts. There's so many other people doing what I'm doing and stuff. Like, I'm constantly finding more people every single day. And he worded is like, it's like the red car theory and stuff like that. He's like, it's only now because you're going so much into this, you're now noticing the algorithms, noticing what you're doing. So it is showing you the every other one else that is doing what you're doing. Is that it's nothing's oversaturated, because he's very big. He's in the fitness field and like fitness coaching. So I'm like, if anything's oversaturated, it's probably that. He's like, well, no. He's like, you're just seeing everything of it now. Like, are your thoughts the same? Like, do you think the whole personal brand social media, it's a dying thing because so many people are doing it? And like, is there still actual real money to be made from like sponsorships, brand deals, stuff like that?
Sponsorships, brand deals, maybe not massive money, but still good enough money to survive. I think it's more, if you're looking for the big success, it's more in making your own brand. Once you have your personal brand, like your own thing, that's where the massive success actually is. But yeah, you're right. Like, I thought when I was getting into this, I was seeing all these people online, they were doing the same thing. I thought I was going to get into it and it was going to be hard. And now where I am now, there's fucking no one. Like, I know like probably, 20 people in Australia that are probably like going hard, and everyone else is sort of fluffing about.
The last question I would like to leave you with today. When you're born, you look like your parents, but when you die, you look like your decisions. How will you look when you die?
What does good decisions look like? I'm not sure.
It's not necessarily good decisions, like the decisions you make. Because like I don't know, I'm like it's so true. Like obviously when we come into this world, obviously we look like an impact of our parents and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you see so many people. It's like like born into this thing, but then they get to the end of their life, their decisions. They're like a drug addict. They've like overdosed, died, stuff like that. What are you gonna look like? What decisions are you making? Or at least where do you hope to end up? That's probably the biggest thing. What decisions are you making or subconscious that you need to make?
Better than when I first started. That's it. I think there's going to be like I'm a big believer in you just try get better. That is it. Like that's all you can do. So just better or as close to as good as possible as I could have done in that time period. Yeah. Like I'm gonna make a bunch of fucking mistakes in my life, but I'll learn from them and I'll get better and better. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, guys, this was another episode of The Great Human Reconnect. I was your host, Hayden Binney. And until next time, catch us round.
Woohoo!
Awesome.